So this session is on water's technology, unlocking profitability with sustainability, equally very, very important things that you want to achieve in your surf park. So we're going to jump right into it. All right. Many of you may recognize me. I see a lot of familiar faces in the room. I've been in the surf park industry now for at least 5 years, a little bit longer than that, but really excited about what water is doing differently and how we're disrupting the water purification space. It's really going to be a complete game changer for our industry as we're able to better achieve profitability and sustainability with this groundbreaking technology. So it is our mission to provide clean water for all humankind. We're going to focus on providing clean water for surfers today. Great thing about water is we are backed by a 65 plus year international conglomerate, Gas Global, which spent many, many years perfecting waterproofing materials, geosynthetic liners, waterproofing paint, waterproofing inner sections, how that whole world works. So we're backed by a huge international organization with over 14,000 projects in the aquatic sector. So we have a great global footprint, lots of resources to support you guys. Water is our US-based entity that's primarily focused in water purification with the strength and weight of a 65 plus year organization. We are focused on consumable free purification, fully customizable, and full service operations and maintenance. So our greatest goal here in surf park venues is to cut down overhead, boost revenue, and then also achieve more sustainable solutions. And we're able to do that through effective energy consumption, water recycling, and then also getting rid of those nasty chemicals. Here's a video for you guys.
Imagine transforming your surf park's water into a self-purifying environment. Imagine doing so without relying on chemicals, biologicals, membranes, or filters. Imagine using nothing but small amounts of electricity to purify vast amounts of water. Water's Faraday reactors use the advanced low-tension electroporation process to purify millions of gallons per day. This results in naturally occurring hydroxyl radicals that circulate throughout your water, keeping guests safe by continuously destroying contaminants. LTEP is one of the most effective at eliminating harmful contaminants. Introducing the Faraday reactor. Unlike sand, regenerative media, and chlorine, which require frequent maintenance, cause corrosion, and fail to prevent contaminants, the Water Surf solution delivers unmatched efficiency with minimal energy, zero consumables, and a smaller footprint. Ushering in a future where sustainability is profitability.
All right, let's take a look at our industry. Everybody who's working in this knows we have some significant challenges and hurdles to overcome. I'm going to talk about a few of those and how water is working to provide solutions to those hurdles. Consumables are costly. If you were here on the last session, talking about 8 to 10 million gallons of water sometimes, I like to use 3 million as a good average for amount of water in the pool. When you're looking at chemicals, that's a lot of chemicals that you need to have on hand to utilize in the purification of your surf pool. They are very costly. We've seen dramatic increases in chlorine. And also filter media is an ongoing sunk cost that you have to invest in. So we've seen a 50% increase in chemical costs over the last 2 years. Water is scarce. This is something that's part of a much larger issue that we have to deal with in surf parks, which is municipal approvals, right? People see water and they think, oh my gosh, they're using so much water. I'm going to talk about this a little bit tomorrow, but we do utilize less water than your typical golf course that you see. Not a lot of people know that. They see water and think water scarcity is an issue, and it is an issue. One thing we're doing at Water to help with that is we can actually clean a variety of source waters. So think rainwater, reservoirs, groundwater, wastewater. We'll get into that. because water is scarce. And by 2030, the global freshwater demand is going to exceed the supply. I was actually just reading a report by the World Health Organization that by 2030, on a global level, we have to have a shift in perspective on water reuse. Because ultimately it is going to be a cleaner source of water, recirculated water, than what we believe our freshwater supplies are based off forever chemicals, PFAS, microplastics, these things that are found in water. And clean and safe water is critical, right? You guys don't want to shut down your parks. We don't want you to shut down your park. It's incredibly important that that water is clean. And you need to be able to rely on a purification system that's going to completely eradicate, that exotic bacteria like Cryptosporidium, brain-eating amoebas, Legionella, these things that require shutdowns that have a tremendous amount of costs associated with the shutdown, as well as the black eye of, somebody being injured by bacteria in this way. This is actually a great shot of one of our installations. We do multi-acre recreational lagoons as well, based off our experience in waterproofing, geosynthetic liners, those types of things. This is a 5-acre lagoon that we built and maintain in Stein City, but also just a slide to get us into solutions. All right, so our first solution, right? We are removing chemicals from the treatment of water through our ALTEP process. And I want to explain that for you guys for a second because it's new and it's really interesting. So ALTEP stands for Advanced Low Tension Electroporation Process. We did not invent electroporation. It was invented a long time ago. There's white papers from NASA on it about the optimal effectiveness of cleaning water. There's white papers from Stanford on it. It's been utilized in surgical institutions when you need to manipulate a cell at the cellular level. But typically it's been very energy intensive. So it's been reserved for these more, important organizations like I just mentioned. And what we did do is we were able to commercialize electroporation through achieving it at low tension. And I mean really low tension. This 3.2 million gallons is 32 kilowatts an hour. If any of you guys are designing a surf park, that's nothing. That's a blip in the megawatts you're planning for. So we are actually able to achieve that 100% effectiveness in eradication of bacteria at very low doses of electricity. So we're able to purify millions of gallons with zero chemicals, biologicals, membranes, or filters. Solution 2 for water scarcity. So we are creating closed loop systems. So like I said before, you can utilize rainwater. We can purify that. That's amazing. Like, can you imagine being able to say, hey, we utilized all natural resources for our surf park? Like, it doesn't get more sustainable than that. Or like in the lagoon I just showed you guys before, we utilized wastewater discharge. So water that's typically lost to a drain, we were able to purify to a potable grade standard that was used in the lagoon. So again, closed loop sustainability, but we're also exceeding the water standards that are showing that it's pure, it's safe, it's clean for people to swim and surf in. Solution 3, ALTEP, which I just explained to you guys, we are 100% effective at eradicating bacteria, pathogens, microorganisms found in water. We are destroying them at the cellular level. With chlorine dosing and chemical dosing, it's a little bit of a hope and a prayer. I mean, some of these exotic materials have very, very thick cell walls. It can take up to 4 to 6 hours to penetrate Giardia with chlorine. And with the ALTEP process, we are completely eradicating them. We have a hydraulic retention time of 8 minutes. For everybody who doesn't know what that is, including me before 8 months ago, hydraulic retention time is the amount of time it takes for a cell to go all the way through the purification system. So dirty water all the way to super clean potable grade water, 8 minutes. So that's massive for effectiveness and being able to purify a lot of water at once. And then we also produce hydroxyl radicals, which continuously destroy pollutants found in water. This is a hugely scientific term. I'm going to try to bring it down to layman's for everybody. But essentially, when we introduce electricity to water, we are creating hydroxyl radicals, which you can look into it. It's essentially the detergent of the troposphere. It's found in nature all over the place. When the hydroxyl radical comes in contact with another atom, like a pollutant or bacteria. Essentially, it neutralizes both itself and the bacteria. So we're able to continue delivering disinfection over time with the production of hydroxyl radicals. So this is essentially how we're able to eliminate residual chlorine that's found in water. I know we were just talking about some updates to the model aquatic code to get it to 1 parts per million. I know we've achieved 0.5 in a few surf parks, and we are trying to get that to 0, and we know that we can with this technology. These are some of the components of water's technology. The Faraday reactor, this is where the Altep process occurs. This is where we are essentially zapping all of that bacteria out of your water. Next is our ADAF filters. So we're still not utilizing any chemicals. We're essentially separating all of that debris out of the water and taking ultra pure water onto the next phase. And then we have our DOP 13, which is backup disinfection, where we're introducing oxygen into the water as a secondary disinfection. This is really, really important. So we have 3 minutes to talk about it, I think. Water as a service. This is going to transform some developers' hearts and minds. We are requiring a very, very low CapEx, 10% down for the cost of your water purification technology. That's $100,000 instead of $1 million. Being able to bring that capital stack down is tremendous for developers that are raising money right now. Because we provide service and maintenance on our equipment, we can roll up the cost of your equipment into a monthly OpEx, which is fantastic when your surf park's open and operating and you're selling hamburgers and salads and people are surfing and people are stoked, because it's easy to quantify the ROI on this investment, and you'll see that it's paid off very quickly when you reduce those overhead costs and the consumable costs. So you're going to get 15 to 20% more efficiency as well. Kind of explained that before with electricity consumption. And then this is modularly designed, so each surf park is a little bit unique, but because surf parks have also adopted a modular design, it's pretty easy for us to quote you based on a few different models we've already created proposals for. I'm going to leave you with one example. This is the 3 million gallon pool example. All right, so this is a common benchmark I've used as a surf park developer and technology supplier in the past. Typically around 18 cents a gallon projected for chemicals, media, filter, consumable costs annually. So if we look at a 3 million gallon pool, that is $540,000 a year sunk cost. All right, operations and maintenance. So you need somebody in there who's going to clean out those regenerative media filters, that's going to measure your chemical or your chlorine levels, your acid levels. Operations and maintenance staff, I'd say this is on the low end. This is only a couple people working there, $200,000 to $300,000 a year. Downtime for manual interference. Let's say you do have an issue in the pool that those chemicals weren't able to treat, or you need to shut down for, just any sort of cleaning. Could be around $100,000 to $500,000 a year. So we're looking, when you implement a water solution that eliminates these things, your park is going to be at least $1 million more profitable a year by just eliminating a few of those things. This isn't even really quantifying the sustainable impact that you're going to have both on your patrons and the world by eliminating chemicals from the treatment of their water. Ride the wave of sustainable innovation with us, guys. We have a lot of people here to talk with you today. I'm more than happy to chat with you if you have any questions. We'll be available during the networking breaks, and if I'm not available, anybody in a water t-shirt or water hat can chat with you about our technology and how we're transforming this industry.